Hi everyone, I'm Sharon and this is my sister Wendy. I'm afraid my speech isn't that long, but I'll get straight to the point. Most of you don't know that for the first few years of our lives, we lived together in our grandfather's house. And of course, Jinx being about 10 or more years older than us, we never really played together. Fast forward as adults, whenever I would go shopping at Safeway or whatever grocery store, and we see each other, we would always make a point to go over and say hi to each other. And Jinx would always ask me how my siblings are doing. And he always has a couple of jokes to say. And after talking with Jinx many, many times, I learned to be really quick in giving him back another one of my jokes. And he was quite impressed with that. And Jinx always referred to me as the fitness queen. And he would always ask me, hey Sharon, when are we gonna do the girls grind? I go, Sharon, anytime. He goes, what time? I said, 6 in the morning. I go, nah, it's too early. And unfortunately, we never had a chance to go do the girls grind. When Jinx was working and he'd come home from work, he always made a point, drive by my house, honk, and I would either go out through the front door or go out to my back deck and we talk, and Jinx loves to talk. And sometimes I'd have to say, I have to go now. And he goes, okay, I'll see you next time. And for sure, he'll do the same thing. He'll come by, he'll honk, and we'll talk. And he's always joking. And did anybody notice his luscious lips on those pictures? I mean, like Selena says, us girls have to pay money to get lips like his. Anyways, that's aside from that. Jinx will surely be missed. And he's always very thoughtful, very caring. There are times when I'm sitting watching TV and the phone would ring and he'd say, Sharon, did you call me? I go, no. And he goes, oh, okay. And I'd ask him how he's doing, and he says, oh, I'm doing really good. We'll do the girls' ground next time. I go, sure, anytime. So the next time when I do the girls' grind, I'll be thinking of Jinx and hiking along with him.
Thanks, Sharon. My name is Wendy. I'm Sharon's younger sister. Cousin Jinx, as you know or heard earlier from Sheila, our cousin, came to Canada September the 4th, 1951, on the same plane as our father and grandmother, as Sheila said earlier. He was 3 years old and our father was 23 years old. He had to even pretend that he was my father's younger brother, or actually grandfather's son, in order to get into the country. Back in those days, they had to kind of deceive the government in order to come in. So as Sheila said earlier, he left when he was just 3 years old. Imagine that, he had to hide who he was in terms of his age in order to get into the country. And then as Sheila said earlier, in 1968, at age 20, he sponsored his mother and his siblings. And then later on, as Wendy said, he sponsored our aunt, father, and his family of 6. So that's a beautiful story. And that's his legacy. And as you said, Wendy, there was a family of 6, and now there's a family of 32. And that's a legacy. In the winter of 2022, Jinx and I came together and we put together the Lim Family Legacy book. It's 28 pages, lots of words, lots of stories, and lots of pictures of all of us when we were young. And it's actually 11 cousins. So when our grandfather came to Canada, we actually ended up being the 3rd generation of Lims in Canada, and then all of our grandchildren and so on make it 7 generations of Lims. And Jinx's story takes 5 pages to tell. And I had to interview him over 25 hours of conversation. And he was just so super proud of his children, Graham and Christy, and all of their art every little thing in the garden, in the house, on the wall. He would say, look at this and look at that. And it was just fascinating to hear his story, but we captured most of it in the book. And this book is full of joy, sadness, courage, and lots of inspiration. Even though his birth name was Jin Kam, as you called him, Kamgo, we called him Kamgo too, because he's our cousin. He renamed himself as Jinx, and that's why Jinx is a very popular name for him, and we know him as Jinx. But in talking to my brother, Jimmy, and Ronald, who's in Fort McMurray and coming home soon, and Sharon, we all concluded that Jinx was a very appropriate name to describe who he was. J-I-N-X. J for joyful. Jinx is genuinely joyful in every way possible. He's easygoing, he's loving. When he is around people, he is really happy and he makes everyone happy. Clap if you found him really joyful. Thank you. I for intelligent. That's a term that we thought that he was, because if you are really strong with your humor, you've got to have higher level thinking skills. So we found him highly intelligent. And this shows up in his witty humor and his sense of laughter and sense of fun. He was able to read the room, to read the situation, and to read the relationship. And that helped him to tell really compelling jokes. He would always start his jokes, and people have already mentioned this. Hey, Jimmy, hey, Ronald, hey, Sharon, hey, Wendy, did you know about this, or did you hear about this? Then he would go on, but he really grabbed your attention with the hey, and then he would begin. And it was always funny, because he always saw the funnier side of things. Clap if you saw that level of intelligence. Yeah. N, so J-I-N, N for nurturing. Jinx loves and cares for people, and he nurtures all those around him. He loved Selena, he loved Graham, he loved Christy, and he nurtured them. He really loved Casper. And when I was finding out his story, you know, Casper's pictures were all over the house, and he would just kind of take me upstairs, downstairs, and show me Casper. But he nurtured everybody, not only his family, but also his friends. And that's why there's so many of us here in the room today. He has the ability to make people feel at ease. He makes you feel very special, and he connects with people right away. And as people could see from the multiple slides, he has this light bulb smile that always lit up the room. Clap if you found that nurturing aspect of him. Finally, letter X, and I think Selena mentioned this earlier. X for X Factor, and as a retired teacher, I would say superpower, and that was Jinx. Jinx had the superpower, the special quality that sets him apart from other people. He loved people. He had the ability to make everybody at ease. He made you feel special. He connected with people right away. This is his X Factor. This is his superpower. I would imagine this is the loudest clap. Please clap with me if you found that. Jinx is an X Factor. In November, Jinx came to my house to play crib with my family, our siblings, as well as some of our high school friends from Templeton, that we all went to Templeton, we went to Vancouver East School. He was skilled. I mean, he was skilled. He would just pretend, well, you know, what he'd, and he actually won 2 out of 5 games that he played against the various people in the room. And we were planning to play more crib in 2024. He was funny, he was happy, he was smiling. He shared his nutritious rhubarb bars that Selena made for him to bring and share. Everybody wanted the recipe, so following the crib tournament, he had his wife to send us the recipe for the rhubarb bars. And he was in his element. He was thriving amongst new people that he was meeting. In December, the cousins, the 9 of us, came together and we had dim sum. And I was the one that picked him up and then took him home. But en route, he didn't want me to use the GPS. He goes, I know how to get to the restaurant, and he would just guide me all over the neighborhood. But as we went to the neighborhood, we ran into friends of his with dogs. And we would roll down the window, or bring the window down. He'd have this great conversation, and he just meanders, and we were just driving, so we were pausing a couple of times. On our way home, he says, you know, can we just stop off at 4 different places? And the very first place he went to was the barber shop. And he goes, oh, I just want to talk to my old barber. And the second place was the Pine Tree Bakery, where you got the white stuff, the sugary square thing. You know what it is? That's it, right. So I said, oh yeah, he's my cousin. I said, I'll buy him that. He goes, oh, no. And so we were arguing. I said, I'm your cousin, let me buy it. So he had that. And then we went to the Sharon station, and I think that was where he got his lottery tickets. And then the last thing he did, and he had talked to me about this famous Red Apple Market. We got to go there. He came out with 2 bags of oranges. I love oranges, he says. So, that's all about Jinx. He is just so connected to the people that he knows and he loves. And he is genuinely a caring guy that develops deep, caring relationships. So we had plans to play more crib. We had plans to do mushroom burgers together, and we had planned to have more dim sum together. And so we will miss him. I will miss him. We love you, Jinx. Your legacy will live on in the hearts of your family and your friends forever. Thank you.